"Don't drink it," Merowa shouted at me. "That juice is poisoned." Ego and I turned to look at him and started laughing. He waited patiently till we stopped and still insisted I shouldn't drink from that glass. When I asked him carelessly who poisoned my drink, he had the audacity to tell me Ego did. I looked at him somewhat angry for accusing my best friend falsely and chided him for that, but his expression was indifferent. Completely furious, I lifted the glass to take a sip, but he quickly snatched it from my hand and stretched it towards Ego, demanding her to take a sip instead. Hi, I'm Ndidi, and this was supposed to be my love story, but my best friend poisoned me. Few months earlier, Meroa moved into the apartment next to mine. He was freaking handsome. I felt drawn to him instantly, like metal to magnet. I tried all I could to get his attention to no avail. All that mattered to him was the water he supplied to several households, which was his source of livelihood. I told Ego I was in love with Meroa and asked her to help me get his attention, but she bluntly refused, stating that he was way below my class, though he looked a lot different from other Meroas in our neighborhood, more like he was hiding his true identity. I pleaded, but Ego wouldn't oblige. After a while, which almost seemed like ages, she gave in and had the craziest plan ever. We would share a drink in front of my apartment where Meruwa could easily see us from his apartment. I would excuse myself to go get cookies, and then she would seize the opportunity and poison my drink. Not the real one, of course. I would try to drink it, and if he cared about me, he would try to stop me from getting poisoned. As scary as that plan was, I accepted without thinking twice. While Merwa kept insisting Ego drank from my glass, she blatantly refused. I tried to convince Merwa that the poison was just a prank to get his attention, but he wouldn't budge. He insisted Ego drank from my glass if that poison wasn't real. I nudged her to take a sip since that wasn't a death sentence. But when Ego still refused, I began to panic. I asked her if she was really going to poison me. Merowa said she already did, and then shared his story. He had installed CCTV cameras in my apartment without my permission when he suspected my life was in danger after he overheard a phone conversation Ego had with someone about a promotion at work. He was an undercover cop and disguised as Meroa to catch a notorious criminal who was tracked down to our neighborhood. He said he knew Ego was plotting my death when he watched the footage where she came up with that crazy plan. When he stopped talking, I looked at Ego to defend herself, but she didn't. Why? I asked her. Someone I called my best friend told me to my face that she poisoned my drink for her boyfriend, who was my rival at work, because we both opted for the same managerial position and he had low chances of winning. He somehow convinced Ego to do everything possible to get rid of me because they would need a huge salary to plan their wedding. We heard police sirens from afar, and Merowa said he already called the cops from a nearby station to arrest her and her boyfriend as well. He had recorded her conversation on his cell phone. Minutes later, I was alone with Merowa. I thanked him for saving my life, and he said I shouldn't let my feelings for him control me. I blushed, completely embarrassed. He knew I was attracted to him right from the onset, but didn't pay attention to me because he never wanted to be distracted from his objective. I apologized for ruining his chances of catching the criminal, but he assured me the criminal was already behind bars. He only lingered to expose Ego because he knew I wouldn't have believed him if he had told me her evil plan. He asked if he could take me out on a date. While I contemplated his motive behind that, he closed the gap between us and held my gaze. He addressed me by my name for the first time and told me he was attracted to me as well and wouldn't have forgiven himself if Ego had succeeded. He ended by introducing himself as Musa, but I told him that as long as I lived, he would always be my Merowa.